They pried open the mech's cockpit, only to find a writhing, pulsating brain inside. Jack was terrified, but before he could react, the rest of the unmanned mechs began exploding one by one. Their bodies started sprouting monstrous tissue, ultimately transforming into mechanical beasts. The general acted immediately and called in reinforcements. Man-piloted mechs. Omega Brave took the lead, blasting one monster apart with his arm cannon. But another corrupted mech struck his weak point, and a second monster jumped onto his back and twisted his head clean off. The pilot was killed instantly. Because of how sudden the attack was, only a handful of mechs managed to power up in time. Titan Savior was quickly overwhelmed, hit by a barrage of cluster missiles that crippled its right leg, leaving it collapsed and unresponsive. One of the creatures moved in to investigate, only to have its head blown off by a cannon blast. Another monster leapt into the air and stomped directly on the cockpit, instantly killing both pilots inside. The mutated monsters then began tearing apart the remaining idle mechs. The general, refusing to retreat, stood his ground and died a hero's death. But this was only the beginning. There were hundreds, even thousands of these mech monsters, all controlled by the mastermind behind it all, Dr. Newt. At his command, monster mechs around the globe were activated. They used energy beams to rip open dimensional portals, and one by one, horrifying creatures began emerging from beneath the sea. At the critical moment, Madame Shao, the founder of the Shao Corporation, intervened and cut off the control system of the mechs. This caused the biological and mechanical components to violently reject each other, resulting in massive internal explosions. One creature, just beginning to emerge, was sliced in half as the portal snapped shut. But the crisis wasn't over yet. Amid the chaos, 3 monsters managed to slip through and land on Earth, one of them a Category 5 kaiju. All 3 were heading straight for Mount Fuji. Dr. Herman theorized that deep inside Fuji lay vast amounts of rare elements that, if combined with kaiju blood, could trigger a massive volcanic eruption. The resulting explosion would release 1 billion tons of toxic gas into the atmosphere, rendering Earth completely uninhabitable and wiping out all life. The monsters had to be stopped at all costs before reaching the crater. But after the devastating battle the night before, the base was left with only 4 mechs, all of them damaged, and just a handful of surviving pilots. Emergency repairs were underway. The mech, Gorilla, was still operational, but its right arm was beyond repair and had to be replaced with one salvaged from Titan Savior. With no other choice, the 4 mechs, carrying humanity's last hope, slowly ascended into the sky.